Are we
Live.
live?
Yes, we are live. Hello, everybody. Hello, moms in Biz
Hello.
Global. It's
Hi.
Thursday here in Perth, Western Australia, and we are here for another episode of Moms in Biz Explains. And for today, our topic is how to communicate effectively with your kids.
Yep.
Hello to our panelist for today. Hi, Momsy Sharon from
Mm.
Australia.
Hi,
Hi,
Momsy
Mami
Sharon.
Rona.
Hi. Is my mic on? Okay.
Yes, yes, we can hear
Hi,
you.
everyone. Thank you for having me here, Diane and Rona. And thank you for everyone watching right now. Hello.
And
Hi.
she is coming to us live from
Can-
ACT, Canberra, right?
Canberra.
Canberra.
How's the weather today, Mumsy Sharon?
Ah, it's raining. Whole
It's
day
raining.
raining. It's cold. We're back in the winter
I
feeling.
know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same here
Mm.
in Perth. It's
We're
been
still in fall.
really cold
Mm.
the past few weeks because we were already expecting that it's going to get warmer, but
Warmer.
it's been raining.
Yeah. It
So
actually hailed a few days ago,
Oh,
actually.
wow,
wow.
A little bit, yeah. So yeah, we're back in a
crazy
cold
weather.
weather and then
Yeah.
hot
Yeah,
again.
nice to
Just when
have
we
you
were,
here.
yeah. Yes. Okay. Sorry, a daming segue, mommies. When we
Yeah,
start
so Mom
talking,
Diane, would you like to actually do a recap of our last episode? So we have episode 5 with Rose Catenbeek from Perth, Australia as well. So yeah, let's
our
talk
topic
about what
last
she
week
did.
was minimalism. We
Mm-hmm.
learned so much from Mommy Rose because she's been trying to do minimalism for a while, and there were some tips that she shared, especially with her kids' clothing on how I think she rearranged her children's clothing and she only put a few items in there so it's easier for the kids to
Yeah,
pick an outfit. So I initially thought that minimalism is just about owning less
Getting
stuff,
rid all of things.
right?
wow.
And getting rid of all things. But she actually said that you should not get rid of everything all at once. You have to assess which of the items are really being used because you don't want to repurchase stuff and realize in the end that you just gotten rid of everything, right? And so
Yeah,
in the end, we said that minimalism is not about having less, it's about making room for more that matters. It's
yeah.
really just having what's important and
Mm.
those things that would help you get to get to your goals and really make so that you can make time for the things that really matter and have more
Mhm.
time for your family.
That is
So
so true.
that's what
Yes,
we
and
talked about.
after our interview, she was super encouraged to do a minimalism in her office area. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
How are you, Mom Diane, during
With
that day
minimalism.
after? Did you actually apply a little bit in the house?
Um, Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Getting there, getting there.
yet. Because it was still the school holiday. So last week we were trying to find activities for the kids to do before they go back to school. But now
Mm.
that the kids are off, now I would
Yeah.
have more time to reassess. But for
For
this topic, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm just want to say I did minimalism in my refrigerator.
Wow! What did you think? I think that,
It's super hard,
yeah,
it's
it's
super
right.
hard to yeah, but I tried my best to clear things that's not needed. Yeah. Once in a
Like
while you need to clean your
those
fridge.
bottles that are half used, and
I
you
know, and then I found some expired ones too. Long time overdue. Anyway, so let's fast
now
move
there's room for
on.
more,
Oh
right?
yes, but try to minimize what you need, just finish what you have. That's the thing.
Exactly. So, Mommy Rona, we will talk about communication styles, how to communicate effectively with your kids,
Yes.
right? So,
Yeah.
before we ask our moms, there is an article that you shared with us earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Its title was Seven Tips for Effective Communication with Kids. Maybe we
Yeah.
can go through them and share our experiences and how it would help us with how we
Oh,
communicate with our children. Go ahead,
yeah.
Mommy Rona, and Mom
Yes.
Sharon and I will share.
All
Let
right.
me think
Okay.
of
Because we do have,
tips.
yep. So because we have a special guest, a mompreneur here, an educator, and from Canberra, Australia. So she will share with us, together with Mom Sharon, her experiences, as a mom and as an educator.
Yes.
Yeah. So this 7 tips for effective communication with kids is applicable usually in, all types of children, but most likely to those school age children because they know better. They may try to understand better, but the thing is, if puberty strikes, they may out of track. Yeah, on what I experience with my daughter right now. I understand she's understanding things, but the thing is the environment around her may affect her. So we don't know the friends of our children outside home. You're raising them nicely, but environment outside home may affect. Okay, so let's go through 7 tips for
Okay.
effective communication with kids. So we are trying as moms, or those singles out there, and if you're planning to have a family, you may get some knowledge from us today, and just filter accordingly on what you actually experiencing right now. And yeah, so number one, it says
Okay,
there,
number one.
listen with your whole body. Not only with your ears. So yeah, how do you actually communicate with your children right now, Mommy Sharon?
So it's different because my first is already 8 years old and the second one is only 2 years old. So how I communicate with them is totally different because the
Mm-hmm,
other
mm-hmm,
one can't able to communicate verbally
yeah.
in complete sentences while the other one is already communicating but yet sometimes it's not speaking,
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes you ask them and then they doesn't want to respond
Yeah.
because they know what will happen next if they say something wrong. So
All
it's,
verbal.
yeah, it's really different how you approach them. But for my 8 years old, I really try my best for him to open up. So if
Mm-hmm,
I know that I can see from him that he doesn't want to tell me because he's scared that he might say something wrong and
mm-hmm,
might make me angry, I will
Yeah.
let him know that I am relaxed and I am ready to hear what you say. Whatever you're going to say, just
mm-hmm.
answer my questions and I promise I will not get angry. Maybe I will,
May
but
promise
maybe
ka
I
pa.
will,
With
but I
reason,
promise
within
you that
reason.
I
Yeah.
will try to understand what you
Mm-hmm.
are saying. That it will take a while. It will take a while before he will
Yeah.
completely answer you whatever you want to hear from him, or if there is really something that he needs to say. But I will let him know that there's no like extra things that's gonna happen or explode. I'm not gonna explode. Yeah, but
Do you feel?
before I
Yeah,
do
sorry.
that, I have to calm myself as well.
Yes.
Calm
Yes.
yourself
I
down.
have to calm myself. I have to know my state
Yeah,
before
Yes.
I
that's true.
am able, because sometimes as a mother we are in a deep emotions and we have to know where we are. Am I angry right now? Am I upset? Or am I
Mm-hmm.
relaxed? Because whatever is your state, that will be the outcome of your
Yeah, yeah.
conversation. And
Mhm.
sometimes
Yeah.
your conversation will not actually be a nice convo because you are in a state of that angry, or you are in a
Mm-hmm.
stress state. So you have to calm yourself first before you were able to speak with other person, with that child.
Okay. So let's
Yeah.
say you pass the calmness stage and you are ready to actually talk to your kids, or maybe as an educator to other kids. So do you actually do listen with your whole body? Do you actually apply that, or you just listen with do you give your all? Do you give your full attention to that person or that kid?
Yes and no, but because Rana, you have to understand that if I am in my work, I have to do that. I have to make time with
Mm.
that
As
child.
an
If they
educator.
are, yeah. But if I'm at home, honestly, with so much things, it's really hard. But I make time because if I
Mhm,
want
mhm,
to communicate with this person, with my child, I have to
mhm.
sit down. I cannot walk
Mhm.
around and tell him,
Yes.
"Hey, you do this, you do this. You're like this, and you are making me upset, blah blah blah," and then
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
walking around while he can't hear it. You have
Yes.
to talk to him eyes to eyes, face to face. I am talking to you, we are listening. I am listening, you listen to me. I talk, you talk, one on one. We have to
Mhm.
sit down.
Yes.
And
I'm
if
learning.
yeah, and if
Me
both of
too.
you are seated down, both of you are really actually open to open up and listen. And your child, I mean, for my child, they listen. And
Mhm,
uh, for being an educator, this is what we do. If they're upset, or they have something that they're scared, or they're
mhm,
unhappy, we sit down with them and try
mhm,
to we don't say stop crying or stop whining. We don't say that. We
Mm-hmm.
actually sit down and ask them what happened. If they're not ready, we wait them until they're
Mm.
ready, because you
mhm,
can't say like, tell me now because I have to do something else later.
mhm.
We can't. So if you're not
You're
That
in a
ready,
happens
rush,
a lot.
teacher.
That
yeah,
happens
we
a lot
cannot
in
rush.
the home
Yeah,
setting.
for children, that is too much. I am not ready yet. I'm not ready
Yeah.
yet. And then here you are, you're trying to open up my heart when I am still
Mm.
upset. So
Yes.
you have to also let them have their pace because they are children. They
Yeah.
still
They also need
learning.
to calm down, I think.
Yeah, they also need
Yeah.
to calm down and they have to learn these emotions. I am upset
Mm.
now. Why am I upset? What
Mm-hmm.
makes me upset? So you have to sit down with them. If they're not ready, you can tell them, okay, if you're ready, I'm just here. I'm listening.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
if you
Mhm,
need to walk away, I'm going there. I'm going somewhere, but I'll be back. If you need me, I'm just there. Then at
mhm,
least the child knows that
They
someone
can
is
come to you
ready. Yeah, someone is ready to
to
listen to me
listen.
when I'm ready. And actually at work, they will really open up. When you
That's
come back
nice.
and
Mm.
they're ready, they will actually say, oh, because this child and this child try to embarrass me, or
Mhm,
uh, try to ruin my play, or things like that.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Wow.
such a big revelation because um
Yeah.
We're
I
learning
well,
here.
yes, fresh to my ears because I have three kids and honestly, I don't have the patience and the time to listen to them one by one until they're ready to open up. But
Yeah.
at least, this is something that we can still apply. We can still
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
apply for our children.
That's true.
And I think it would help a lot. It's the
A lot
hardest
of
thing,
mommies.
especially with
Mhm,
teenagers now, is um, for them to open up. And so having learned about these steps, just now I know what to do next time. I just need now I understand that I need to be patient with them
yeah.
because sometimes they tell you, I don't know. Like when you ask them what's happening, they will just say, I don't know. And I feel like, how can you not possibly know what's happening?
Mhm,
When
mhm.
in
They're kind of
fact, now that
confused from
you're
the
telling
instinct.
us, they're probably still confused with what's
Mhm,
happening with the
Yeah.
situation, with what's happening with their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, moms in bees.
and,
We're
Yeah.
so
and
happy to
sometimes
have
they
Mommy
have to
Sharon here
yeah, they
today.
have to figure out by themselves. And even if
Mm,
at a young age, we just sit there and help them try to figure out why you acted like that. And actually we have a lot of children with behavioral with behavior,
Mm-mm.
or
Mm-hmm.
came from a family who are distorted family, which
mm-hmm,
makes them
mm-hmm.
their attitude differently, they act
Mm-hmm.
differently. So the more that we need to be patient, and the more that we
With
need
Wow.
to
them.
let them know that they are I think to make them
Love
feel that
cared.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
somebody will
Yeah.
still here to talk to you, and
Yeah.
they have to know that they have the right to to learn what they feel, because
Yeah.
as this is a long term process of learning. It's just not
Yes.
one time experience, and they know how to overcome their challenges. It's a long
Mhm.
process, so for them to be patient as well, and to learn how are they coping up, and how what am I feeling right now. It's really
Wow.
good for them to learn at a young age.
Oh my
My
goodness, a lot of nuggets in
goodness.
here. It's just number one, huh? Six more to
Yeah,
go.
I know. And we have a 30-minute limit for
30 minutes,
today,
and we are
which
Yeah.
and we
So
have
moving
already
forward,
touched so many
yeah, that's true.
so
So
much
moving
on just on the
forward,
first
let's
one.
try.
Yeah.
Let's try to maximize our time. But
So
if
the
in
second one, I think Mommy Sharon already touched base on this. Pick up on the
yeah, so pick
emotion.
up on the emotion. So you actually did give an example a while ago that we
mm,
need to hear them. Yeah,
mm-mm.
so that's a good example. Any more
Yeah.
inputs on
And
the
sorry.
second one, or are we good to go?
Yeah,
Because
I think we can, because I think
It's
this was
okay to tell
already
them that
mm,
if they have emotions, to acknowledge that it's okay to not
acknowledged
talk
as
right now. It's
mm-hmm.
and
okay
give
to
them some
be
time.
quiet right
Mhm.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah.
if you need me, I'm here. Yeah, that's all.
And then the third one is acknowledge your child's feeling, even
Feelings, yeah.
if it's not your
Yeah,
child. As an
yeah,
educator, yeah, you actually acknowledge the feeling of every child, right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. A lot of mommies,
I
you
wonder
need to
what kids
really,
would say. Like, how do you
you
feel
yeah.
really,
about
we really
this?
need to acknowledge them.
Mm.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, it's kind
I
of
just wanted to
hard. Kind of
know.
hard for us
yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes I will ask my son, "Are you angry with me with what I did, with what I say?" And sometimes he's honest. Yes,
Yeah,
I
my
get.
my daughter too. He said yes. I'm very angry to you, mom. I'm like, but
Can I
I will
just
make
say,
sure.
Mami Rana, it's just
Oh,
coming
she's
from,
in a
an
puberty
Asian background. No,
stage.
it's just I'm going back to when we were kids, coming from an Asian background. This is not the sort of things that we were
No.
brought
Mhm.
up, right? We
Yeah,
never when I'm
it's
sorry,
kind of
mom, but
disrespectful.
yes, yes,
We
you know,
grow up in a
kids right
respectful way.
now, they freely share their feelings, their emotions, but when we were young, it feels like you can't really share what
Hmm.
you really feel because you're
Hmm.
afraid that
Get
your
scared.
parents
Yeah.
would disapprove, or you get a stick or something.
Yeah, I
But
think when I was a little, they telling me
how do
that
we
I
reconcile
talk
that?
if I talk, it means like I'm against with them, with the
Yes,
adults,
you're
and
being
I am,
disrespectful.
Yeah.
yeah, disrespectful. Yeah,
Or they
but
will call it in
here it's
our
not.
word rebelde, right?
But
Yeah,
here
but I
we
think
really have to acknowledge what they feel, and we have to acknowledge what they're saying. It's
Anyways,
yeah,
yeah, so I hope
we
our
it's
parents
a
know
learning
about these
process.
things before.
I think I have a one scenario because I learned this a lot from a child who has disturbed behavior, and he has autism
Mhm.
that time. So if you have a disturbed emotion, sometimes without any reasons, you will just hurt other people, and some
Mm.
people doesn't really understand that. Some people
Yes,
doesn't
Mhm.
yes.
understand that, and even in a place where a lot of children and
Mhm.
everyone is so scared of him because you might
Hurt them. Mm.
hurt, or he might hurt you. So
Mhm.
most likely some of the children will always say, oh, he did this, he did that to me, he punched me, he kicked me, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then what I realized, what is that child doing? What I did is I don't actually just accept people or children's telling me that he kicked me, or I was playing and then he kicked me because he wants to
Mhm.
Mm.
kick my
Mm. Mm.
my my toy, because usually
Mm.
that's what happened. He will always grab your toy or take your toy. That's why he kick you. And then I realized that when I talk to that child and sit there with that disturbed child, there is actually a reason behind
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Mhm.
before that
Behind his
happened,
behavior.
behind this behavior, why he was doing this. And actually,
Mm-hmm.
what I found out is that before he kicked, somebody actually provoked him to do that.
Mhm.
So it's
Mm.
really good to ask that child first before you
Yeah.
make a
Which,
conclusion.
Yeah,
Make a
yeah, yeah.
conclusion that
Mhm.
this, my child or that child is.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Cannot judge one child on their
Yeah.
action because behind that there is actually
Which, yeah,
oh
brings us to our next step, Mami Rona.
yes, which is
Make
the
correction and gather more information.
information, which is
Mm.
good, no?
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do as
I
well.
always remember what my husband keeps telling us. You know, not only
Yes.
me, my children. I just listen. Your reaction is your action. You know, whatever action you have,
Mm-hmm.
that's the reaction of the opposite person. You know, so
Yeah.
if in case you're angry, of course, the other one should not be happy, right? Yeah. So whatever action, it just it
They
just
model your
connects.
behavior, that's why. Yeah.
Yep. So going to our five,
Next one.
five tip. Number five tip is try to see the situation through your
How
child
do you
eye.
do this? How do you do this, Mommy Sharon?
Go for me, I think go to you their level. When I was an
Yeah.
educator, Singapore, Singapore days, yeah, I was a kindergarten teacher. So there's a lot of in-house trainings during those days. They always tell us to go to their level because they're not
Mm.
adult, they're not teacher, right? So you need to not only go to their certain level of maturity in a way that that's a child, you go down yourself. So if you are talking to them, eye to eye connection is really really needed. Don't which is actually applicable even to your husband, your partner, your spouse. You will have a good communication if you are actually talking to each other eye to eye.
Mm.
You cannot just talk to your partner and you're not giving your full attention, which
Yeah.
I learned
Okay.
from being a married married wife too. I
But
can
how do
I
you put
know
yourself in their level? That is something that is hard for me to do.
because yours is
How do you
different
do that?
level.
Because
There are
Yes.
three levels.
Because we are a parents,
no,
we
like
are a parents, and we
adults
always
think
have this
differently to
thinking.
kids.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
Mommy
always have
Sharon, go
this
ahead.
thinking that we have gone through that. We have gone through that, and I
Mhm.
know what you should do, or
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
how you should
That yeah,
react, and
that's a
this
good
is
point.
what you're supposed to do. But apparently, we actually leading them in a wrong future, because we didn't allow our children to discover it by themselves.
Mm.
on their own
Self
pace,
discovery.
on their own pace, because they are still children. Maybe they are 8, 9, 10. They have their own challenges at that year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So every time they
Wow.
grow up, they have different challenges. So they have to figure it out and see it on their own eyes.
So
And, you know,
yeah, I think what you're saying also, Mommy Sharon, is that because they're going through challenges that only happen at their certain level, what we are suggesting to them, whatever we are suggesting to them may not be right at that time, because we are suggesting that to them as an adult who have
Can
gone
be.
through
Yeah.
so many challenges and who have a different level of maturity. And so, are you suggesting that you let them go through this phase on their own and discover how to deal with it at their own level? So,
yeah.
without
Well, we
and
can
Is
not
there
only
like
tell
a
them
time
what to do,
frame?
and not tell them what to
not,
do.
not really not telling them what to do, but giving them options. How they
Options
will
is a good
decide.
thing.
How
Yes,
will they
yes,
decide on their own? We are not here to decide for their future,
yes,
but
I
they
yes. I
can
should be
agree.
the
imagine Mom
one.
Diane
They
talking
should
to
be
her
the
children.
one.
We have
Yeah,
option one, option two.
No, but
exactly.
that's a
Yeah,
really good point, because
yeah.
we tend
Giving
to
them
Yeah,
decide
options.
for our
yeah,
kids.
yeah.
I tend to decide for
Super
our kids
good.
Yeah.
because I feel that I know what's best for them. But what
Yeah,
Mommy Sharon is saying, that you should give them options,
that's
right?
true.
That you
Yeah.
should
That's
let
true.
them think for themselves.
That's
Mhm.
true. And
And
Mom
I
Diane,
think
actually,
we're
that's a
having
good
a
thing.
free consultation here.
With Mommy Sharon. And I
Mom
think a
well,
lot of
Sharon,
no.
moms
Mommy
will,
Sharon,
will
you're
agree with
super
me
good.
that
And
we need
actually,
these
when you
kinds
give them,
of discussions as parents.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Mm,
I'm
And
learning
you will
here.
know if that actually fits the child, because there was one time in a school in because we are doing homeschooling, so
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that he's doing it and he will submit it on time, and for him to do it faster, because I don't have time. I'm a
mm,
mom,
mm,
so
mm.
usually I will ask him to do his own homework and then I will check. But during that time I help him 100%. So I
Mm-hmm.
told him, so this is science. This is what you do. So we have this, we have this container. So just pour water and then salt and whatever. I think we're doing like explosion that time. And then he
Yes,
was like this, but mom, that is not my work. Ah,
yes.
okay. So just what is your option? So just do it by yourself then. And then he was like, but I'm having a hard time to think because of what he wants is so complicated. So what I
Yes,
did
yes,
is I
yes.
just gave him an option. You can do this one or do this one. We have this container and a salt, whatever you can do from here, because this is what we only have. You can do this, or
Mm-hmm.
you have this option which is so hard, but it's really not doable, but it's hard
Yeah.
because this is what you want. So you tell me what is your plan to do, and then he
Mm-hmm.
decides from them.
That's
So
a very
Wow.
good point.
yeah,
We
yeah.
should
That's
So
not
give
true.
do
him an
things for our children, but give them options.
Yeah. And you actually, I realized actually that he won't just do it because I asked him to do it, which is good. He has his own way to decide that I'm not going to do that just because
Mm-hmm,
he said
mm-hmm.
that, because that's not
Yes.
applicable to me or that is not my work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's
Hmm.
another learning there as a
It
mom for
is.
me.
It
Yeah, for
is.
me. That I cannot
And
just push him to do it. He has his own way to
things
decide.
that we learn from our kids as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For
We
Yeah.
do
him to
learn
think
from
about that and to tell you that, but that's not my work.
yeah.
That's a big. How old is your child, Mom Sharon?
8.
8.
He's only 8, and for him
Only,
to
yeah,
say that, that's
Oh
very mature
my.
of him.
yeah.
I think on my daughter's perspective, I think on raising her up, I think what her mind was saying is, if I tell this word to my mom, I'm in trouble and I'm not, not respecting her in a way because I am telling her certain things and I want it to be done on my certain way, right?
Yes,
Kind of
yes.
hard. So you're raising up a child really, it's like, we have
Hard.
a quotation like
It's the
that, like a
hardest,
village. It takes a village to raise a child.
but we don't
But you
have
have
a
to
whole.
remember, you have to remember as well, being a parent is not being perfect.
I
And this
know.
is a
Exactly.
long term being a parent. It's a lifetime learning. There
It's a
is no
lifetime commitment and
guidelines.
learning.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
is no guidelines. We were
that's
just
true.
went
There's
there
no
to be
school
a
for
parent.
parents.
Yeah,
There's
there
no
Yeah.
we
school for
just went there.
parents.
Okay, you want to be a parent? Go
Yeah.
ahead. These are all the challenges.
Take the
The
course.
challenge,
Take this
the
course, and you'll be
challenges
the
are,
perfect mom.
yes, sometimes
Yeah.
We
challenges
don't
are
have that.
10 times, 10 in a row. Like,
Mhm.
how are
That's
you gonna do it? It's a
I
long
know,
term,
right? So no one
and you
is
cannot be
perfect,
perfect.
Yeah,
Mom,
and
if you are listening right now, whatever
It's not,
troubles, circumstances, situation you have right now, everything is possible. And just have an open mind to really go to the
just
level of your child.
learning,
It's
yeah.
really
And
hard,
the
but
good
you
thing
can
is
still, yeah, it's
you can always
feasible.
learn.
It's
You can
still
always
possible.
learn.
and I'm
Yeah.
You
sure that
can
is
always
also something that we tell our kids. I think there was a time when I tell my kids, I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I don't always make the best decisions for you. I think we also need to acknowledge that and let
Yeah.
them
That
know
we are
that
wrong.
yeah.
that
Yeah.
we we are still learning. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to tell my kids I was wrong, but at least they would understand that you are still
Um,
learning with
reverse
them.
psychology. We call it reverse
You're
psychology,
still
but
learning with them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Use
And
input
yeah.
words that is actually will go through to their minds.
And I want
Yeah,
to add
go.
because Diane says she said sorry to her children. It's very
Mm,
important
mm.
that if we scream at them or we get angry at them or
Mm-hmm,
we
mm-hmm.
we did something wrong to our child, we as a parent can say sorry
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
because we
Yes.
also make
yeah.
mistakes.
I do that.
Exactly.
I sealed
Exactly.
it. I
We
sealed
are
it
not
with a
perfect.
hug. I'm sorry, mommy. So sorry.
But we have to let them know
Yeah,
why you get angry.
Yes.
yeah,
That's
Why did
important.
I react that way?
yeah.
And why
Mm-hmm.
that makes you
Explain
angry.
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, you have to explain yourself that it's not about them, but what they did.
It's what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. That
All
we
right.
love some you tell them we love them
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
with all our hearts,
Reassure them.
but
Yeah.
it is what they did that really upset
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we are just like writing
Exactly.
a paragraph, you're writing your story, there's a peak moment, and then you're gonna lie low and end it in a happy ending, you know. Yeah, reassure
Well,
them
that's
that
what
we
we want
love them.
anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wait, before we continue on, Ate Nawena. Hi, Miss T. Just popping by to say hi before I hit the sack. Night, night. Thank you, Ate Nawena. And but for the husband, there's no other option. Wait, sorry,
Bring them
but for
in.
the husband, there's
Hello.
no other option but to agree to the boss Wi-Fi. This
Exactly.
is a serious discussion.
Yeah, husband's
Yeah.
input is also important in raising a
Yeah.
I
child.
think
Well,
you have to work together
yeah.
and you have to
Yes, yes.
agree on how you should raise your children together.
Mm-hmm.
I think you
Um,
need to be balanced,
yeah.
husband and
Yeah,
wife, balance. And
that's
sometimes if
true.
I cannot take it anymore, I will ask my husband, you talk
Mhm.
to him
Yeah,
or
to
you
talk to
talk
And
to
your
I
him.
kids.
believe on what me and Matt is talking about. We are different culture, not like your husbands. We are all the same Filipinos, right? So my perspective on my husband's perspective is super different. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not uh, what's the proper word? When you're meeting together. Um, there's a proper word for that. But anyways,
Compromise.
so yeah, that one word, compromise.
Compromise.
It's not like compromising really, but the thing is, not faith. Of course, you cannot compromise faith, but in terms of your children, you really need to compromise in a way that your family will just run smoothly. No chaos in the house. Because if
Yes.
you are two different culture raising up a child and your beliefs is not the
Money
same on the
run.
other's belief, Yeah. So it's really complicated. Anyway, so
No,
let's
we
move
can talk
on.
about that next time as well.
Yeah,
It's a
let's
big
move
topic,
on.
I think, especially when you come from two different
Yeah,
cultures.
culture. Yeah. Our
Yeah.
sixth
So
tip for today is avoid shaming your child. Rather focus on behavior.
behavior.
Ah. So for this one, I have a quotation. It says here that every child's behavior is telling us something. Okay? Every
Mm.
child is different and they're actually telling us something. Our job is to see the behavior as an information, not aggravation. You know.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
that's
that's
Yeah.
right.
true.
Hmm.
And avoid shaming your child, rather focus on the behavior. I think one easy take on that is especially don't shame your child in public.
In public, it's really not good.
Right.
And
Just hold
threatening
it,
your
moms.
child
Just
in
hold
public.
it
Yeah, I
until
mean,
you get home.
private conversation. Some mommy do this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do that. It's private. You are talking in privately, but you are threatening your child that you're gonna shame her publicly. I will when you go to school. It's also not good. It's really not good.
Yeah. I'm
Shaming in all
sure
ways is not good. So let's just remove the
um,
shame part.
it's good. I think we can move on. I don't
Move
want to
on.
ask you, moms, any stories, but let's move on
Yeah.
to the next one.
So
This
the
is
last
important.
one for, yeah, the 7 tips that we have for today is encourage your child to think proactively about the
About
solutions,
solutions.
not the circumstances that she or he is in right now, but the solution in advance,
Yeah, I
Mm.
think
right?
Mom
Yeah, that's
Sharon touched base on that when she was talking about her son's project, wherein
Hmm.
giving your children options, but not necessarily telling them what to do.
yeah.
Yes, that
And
is
I
so
think it also encourages them to think rather than to just accept what you
Mm.
said to them.
Mm.
And every child is different, and I'm sure that when we do that, you'd be surprised at
Mm.
how
that's right.
clever and how because a child's
Amazing they are.
imagination is different, and so sometimes they probably have um, a better plan of executing that project. And
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if your child is already grown up, like
mm-hmm,
teenager, it's different. It's so much different. You can't just tell them this is what you're gonna do and you're gonna do. And sometimes as a
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
parents of a teenage child, it's scary to let them
Yeah,
decide for themselves because nowadays it's really hard the world is really scary by
yeah, yeah.
itself. So we always worry they might get into drugs or they might get into different kinds of people, the negative
That's
people
true.
or that will influence them. But yeah, giving them what are the options that they can do and be brave enough and believe on them that they can decide by
Mm-hmm.
themselves because it
Yeah.
dwells down to what kind of nurturing you did from the start with that child on how they will decide for
Mm-hmm.
themselves.
Yeah.
Because if from the start at age 0 you keep deciding for that child, most likely when they grow up, they will ask you, how am I going to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
decide for
Mm-hmm.
this?
They'll not
But
Yeah.
be
if you
independent.
let
Mhm.
them decide what options, making right decisions or choose sensibly, when they grow
Yes.
up, they will always be reminded that I need to choose what is right or best
Yes, do
for
the
me.
right
It
thing.
dwells down on how you nurture your children from the start. And when my children is growing up, when background, when our background, we always do things for our children We
Mm-hmm.
always, even if they're grown up, we always take them a bath. We do that for them, bring them food. We always, you eat, even if a young
Yeah,
age,
yeah, yeah.
even if 2 years old, we feed them,
Spoon feed them
yeah, we
instead of,
spoon feed
you know,
them
that's the
because
term, spoon feeding. We
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 spoon feed
tend to
them
do that a lot.
Mhm.
physically, and in a normal way. Even if you are just, I'll just say this, like, my, okay, somebody was just trying to make my son, helping him to put his clothes on when he was 5 years old. And I know 5 years old kind of really make a lot of time for him to put on the clothes, but I will always tell him, you put on your clothes by yourself.
Your own clothes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because these are just a simple responsibility, simple task that in the long run, when this task accumulated, it will learn them to be independent and choose
Mhm.
the right thing, choose
Yeah.
making right choices. So when at the start of their early age, you doesn't believe that they can make choices of their own, even at
Mhm.
age 6 months, when they grow up, they won't really do their own right choices.
But are you saying that, if at a certain, can we still change that? Can we still change that? Can we still make up for it? If, for
Yeah,
Yes,
if we did.
example, right? If we did not do it right the
yes,
first time when they were young, can we still correct that behavior? Can we still, yeah. Is
correct.
there?
Yeah, yeah. You have to believe that they can do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Now I'm
there
Encourage
learning.
them that
we
they
we
can.
pray. We're
Encourage
gonna
them
pray
that they can do it. Yeah.
and let their heart be open in that,
Encourage them that they can
yeah,
do it
encourage.
and do it with them. Do
Mhm.
it with them.
Encourage and do it
Yeah.
with them.
Because sometimes if they don't have confidence, it's hard for them to step forward. But if
Mm-hmm.
you
That's true.
are with them doing that together, it's easy for them to realize that, oh, I can do it.
Wow. Mhm.
Mm,
Because I have a helping
yes.
hand, someone to
Yeah.
guide me along the way.
Yeah. For a few tasks, they can do it with you. But when
Mhm.
they're
Yes.
already used to it,
Oh.
they can say, oh, I can do it by myself.
You know what
Myself,
I'm
yeah. It's
imagining
like
while you're saying that?
teaching them
When
how to cross the street.
yeah, as time goes by, yeah, as time goes by, they're holding you hand by hand. We're holding them, but as time goes by, they will let go, like, Mommy, I can do it. Oh, I can do it on my own now.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
fine.
eventually they have to do it on their own.
Mhm.
But if they don't have confidence, because we are always
We've
trying to
been
help
doing it to
them
them.
in any way, then their
Spoil.
confidence is not building up. Yeah, spoiling it. Because that's
Mhm.
Filipino way of uh, being a parent. We
Yeah,
spoil
yeah.
them. Oh,
You're
they're
just,
Yeah.
still a baby. They're
some
still,
mommies are just saying, I am
she's
just
only
taking
7
care.
years old. She's
Yeah,
only 6 years. I
I know.
always hear this from a parent.
Mhm,
How
mhm.
can he know? Oh, he's trying to climb up. He might fall down. No,
Most
he can
especially
do
if
it by himself. How can he know?
one
He's
child
only
only,
3 years old.
the only
Mm.
child.
We don't believe what our
That they
children
can
can
do
do.
it. Yeah, what
Mhm.
they're capable of doing.
Yeah.
Let them explore the possibilities.
Mm.
It's
Because
endless.
sometimes, we don't want them to make mistakes.
I know what
But
we have done
And
wrong
that's our
before.
mistake. And that's our
yeah,
mistake.
yeah.
We don't let
But we
them
learn from
explore.
mistakes. We learn from
Mm.
mistakes.
Yeah. I think that's,
Wow.
well, that's,
Love
I
it. I
don't
love
think we
that
have
one.
time for positive adjectives. Mommy Sharon, you have to come back because we've learned so much today.
Mm-hmm.
It's only been 45 minutes, almost 45 minutes. And yet we have talked about a lot of things that I believe a lot of moms will learn from, especially those new
Yeah.
moms.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I've learned a lot
Definitely good.
today. Yes,
Thank
and
you so
just
much.
just to add on and to wrap up our today's conversation, seven
Mm-hmm.
tips on how to communicate children with your well with your children with Momsy Sharon in here. Okay, I'm not promoting anything. We are not being paid by these authors and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of books, and if you are a reader, you can learn something while reading, or if you like listening, you can purchase those audibles, and there's a lot on YouTube. So we have the book you wish your parents had read. you know for
Mm.
those parents. And then there's Raising Good Humans, a mindful
Yeah.
guide to breaking the cycle of reactive parenting and raising kind and confident kids. And we also have How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, and Listen So Kids Will Talk. So those are
Yeah.
like books out there that you can, check it out.
And
Or
reach
if
out
you
to
have,
Mom Sharon.
yeah, for free consultation of your children. Yes.
I really
Okay. So
appreciate
anything
everything
you
that
want to
you
add
shared
on,
today.
Mom She Sharon or Mom Diane, for today's episode?
I I think I just want to tell all the moms that you are perfect enough for your children. Yeah, you
Oh,
don't have to be a very great mom, perfect mom.
mhm.
You know that in the eyes of your child, you are already perfect as you
Oh my
are.
gosh.
So yeah, being a parent is a long term learning.
Commitment.
So
Mhm.
just take the challenge and have fun with it, with the stress.
Just enjoy the
And
journey, I
you,
guess.
yeah,
Mhm.
enjoy the
Mm.
journey and just always, yeah, because we are all doing this because we love
Mhm.
our children. The
Mm.
fact that we love our
And when
children,
they grow
why
up,
we do, yeah,
they will
mental,
understand.
they
Yeah,
will
that's what I tell
understand.
my daughter. You're gonna understand when you have your own child. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
nevertheless, we're here to
We're
share
learning.
what
Mhm.
we learn, and maybe we could help more moms
Moms out there.
to effectively
That's true.
communicate with their children. That's a big
Mm.
learning for
That is
even
true.
for me. I have a 14-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 8-year-old, and I have learned so much that we can apply
That's
when we
true.
communicate with our
Mm.
children. So, Mommy Sharon, come back. As
Yeah,
for
thank
our
you so much for being here,
Yeah,
Mom
sure. Let
Sharon.
me know.
yeah, and let's congratulate Mommy Sharon. We would like to congratulate you on your most recent milestone.
Ah,
Mommy
yeah, thank
Sharon here is also a
you.
business owner like us, and
Yeah,
we want to celebrate your milestone. Hip hip
Thank
hooray!
you. Oh, wala.
And yeah, before we go, there is a quote from Bob Kishan. It's not actually. So we would like to say parents are the ultimate role models for children. Every word, movement, and action has an effect. No other person or outside force has a greater influence on a child than a parent, right? That is why we should watch what we're doing, and we should try to learn and improve ourselves for our children as well. And hopefully, this has helped you, moms. And we can't wait to have Mommy Sharon again for our next episode on how to communicate with our kids. And maybe we could touch on the positive adjectives for next time. So, thank you so much, mommies. Mommy
Thank
Rona,
you.
you're on mute.
yeah. Thank you so much, everyone of those mommies or even daddies that's watching us right now. And if you have like additional tip for us on how to communicate well with your children, please do
Send
comment
us a
on the
message
comment
or put it
section.
on the comment. That's
Yes,
right.
and we want to learn something from you guys too. Let's learn from each other. So the way we talk to our children becomes their inner voice. So be an inner
That's
voice
right.
today. All right?
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
You take care and stay safe.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Mom
Thanks.
Sharon, Mom Diane.